You are surfing the web in a search for an action camera gimbal stabilizer. Today we're going to review the Inkee Falcon and see if that's the device you're looking for. Before we start, I'm going to leave you with a short promo video I filmed with the GoPro Hero 8 and the Falcon by Inkee. Welcome to a new video. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Mamware. If you've never been on my channel, I do camera gear reviews, I give filming and video making tips, and I make online courses for video editing and video making. So consider to subscribe right now. If you've been here before, welcome back. Good to see you. We're gonna talk about the Inkee gimbal stabilizer for action cameras. The Falcon is a 3-axis stabilizer. If you don't know what a stabilizer is or what the axes are, how many axes a gimbal has and how to balance a gimbal, go and check my previous video. The Falcon is compatible with GoPros, the Osmo Action and also the Insta 360 cameras. It's very lightweight and compact, and we're gonna actually see what's in the box. The Falcon comes in this white box. It's very simple, there's not much in it, but I'm gonna show you what you will find. Instruction manual, first of all, it's quite useful. Sometimes you will find the Falcon, a small tripod, a USB-C cable to update the firmware and also to charge your device. One screw, which I haven't found what this is for. It's not in the instruction manual. I think it's a counterbalance screw, but I couldn't find a thread to attach the screw to, so who knows? And then we will find 2 Allen keys, a bigger one for the screw we talked about and a smaller one for the screws to actually balance your action camera on the gimbal. Inside the box, under the plastic case, you will also find a bag to fit your gimbal. Oh yeah, you might have noticed another device on my desk right here. This is still by Inkee, and it's called Iron Bee. This is a recording grip for your cameras, and you can check their review about this grip up here or in the description tab. Pretty cool device, by the way, if you have a Canon or a Sony camera. That's all about unboxes. As I said, very simple, not much in it. Let's talk about the price. You can find the Falcon on Amazon for £119, British pound. Link in the description. The build of the Falcon, it's made of plastic, the handle and the tripod, the gimbal is aluminum. It's quite sturdy, it feels nice in your hand, and it's not too plasticky. It feels good. The payload of the Falcon, which means how much weight the gimbal can actually support. The gimbal itself weighs 300 grams and it can support cameras or devices up to 200 grams. Now, I tried a few options on the Falcon for you to understand if that's the gimbal for you, and I've got a GoPro Hero 8 right now, which fits perfectly. I also tried the GoPro Hero 8 with a waterproof case, and that doesn't balance as well as just the GoPro itself. The Falcon can still work with it, but I can see the motors are struggling a little bit. And I'm sure the next question from you would be, can the Falcon support the Hero and the medium mode? I'm not sure. So you might need to ask to the company, to Inkee directly, if this is the gimbal for you if you're using a media mode. I also tried Falcon with the GoPro Hero 6 and that works perfectly fine. We can find an internal battery that lasts 9 hours and you can charge it through the USB-C cable we've seen before during the unboxing. I want to show you how to mount the GoPro on the gimbal, how to balance it and all the different modes. So let's get started. This is how the gimbal will come and this is my GoPro Hero 8. First of all, I'm gonna take the mount, so the 2 supports out of the GoPro, and this is a good help. So you take the screw that goes in the mount and you simply take the 2 supports out of the GoPro. Then you want to place the supports inside the mount of the gimbal with the camera facing forward, so your screen should face the roll axis of the gimbal. You want to place the camera in a straight line, in a straight vertical line, and screw it in through the holes. At first, the gimbal and the GoPro will be very unbalanced. As you can see, the camera is tilting in all the directions. That's not what we want. So we want to balance it properly. This gimbal is very user-friendly, so we only have 2 axes to balance. Very simply, we take the small Allen key and we're going to balance the tilt first. So this is the tilt axis. We want to unscrew the screws on the side of the gimbal and slightly move up, in my case, the GoPro, until the GoPro keeps the balance and the position. To make sure the tilt is properly balanced, we're going to screw in the screws, the bolts. You want to hold your gimbal in place and try to tilt the camera up and down. If the camera stays in every position you place it to, then the tilt axis is properly balanced, as you can see here. At the back of the gimbal, we have another screw, which we want to unscrew. And now you can slide your camera left or right. What we're gonna do is to hold the gimbal again and move the camera to the left, in my case. And there it is, this axis is balanced as well. I'm gonna lock the bolt at the back. And I'm gonna double check again if all the axes are balanced. Place the camera in any position, and if the gimbal holds that position, then you're ready to go. We're gonna turn on the gimbal and show you how it operates. To turn it on, you want to go on the handle and press and hold the red button. Now this is a bit confusing, at least at first, because this button seems like the recording button, but this is actually the power button. We're gonna see the recording button in a second. So just hold the red one, the LED light will turn on and the green light will turn on as well, telling you the gimbal is ready to go. Let's connect the GoPro to the device. I'm scrolling down the menu from the top of the GoPro, go to Preferences, Connections, and I choose Wireless Connections, and from Off, I'm going to choose On. Then I'm gonna go back to Connections, tap on Connect Device, and choose GoPro App. And that's it, I'm already connected to my gimbal. Very simple. Now we can check the modes. Okay, first of all, on the gimbal we have a joystick. Through the joystick we can control the tilt and the pan of the camera. On the side of the gimbal we have a photography button. This is a shutter button to take photos. We have a recording button for video and also a time-lapse button. So whenever you press one of these buttons, of course, the related action will start. If we press the shutter button, I've just taken a photo. If I press rec, the camera will switch to the movie mode. And if I press the time-lapse, the camera will switch to the time-lapse mode. Next to the power button, there is an M button, which is the modes button. Now, the default mode is pan follow, which means if you turn your hand from left to right, the gimbal will follow you. You will follow your movement from left to right. If we press M once, the gimbal will switch to pan and tilt follow, which means wherever you're going, the gimbal will follow you. So if you're tilting down, the gimbal will tilt down, but also if you pan to the left, the gimbal will pan to the left. I tap once more on the mode and now I'm in FPV mode, first person view. This is like an action mode. Basically, the camera and the gimbal will react very quickly to your movement on all the axes. So there's not locking mode for any of the axes. As you can see, it's quite random and it's quite particular. I never really use this mode, but if you do sports and you want something a bit more active, that's what you're looking for. I go back to pan follow. Let's say my camera is now facing a random direction. If I want to orient it as the default position, I double tap the trigger in the front of the gimbal. 1, 2, that's it. If I want to go to selfie mode, I triple tap the trigger in the front. 1, 2, 3, and now I'm in selfie mode in no time. So for vlogging, that's a nice feature. To go back to normal position, you tap twice again. When you are in pan follow and you tilt your gimbal horizontally like that, from this position we can do something cool, a couple of actions actually. If we double tap the N button with the gimbal placed horizontally, 1, 2, the camera will go in vertical mode. So if you want to film something for Instagram stories or anyway in portrait mode, that's how you can do it. But bear in mind, with this mode, only the pan follow will work. So if I go from left to right, the camera will follow, but it will not follow me tilting the camera up and down. If I tap the M mode now twice again, we're gonna go in vertical mode, also called inception. And it means if I use the joystick now and rotate the camera left or right, the camera will stay in position, but it will start spinning on its axis. To go back to normal position, you press M once again. Very simple tool, but it works fine, at least during my tests. It's very portable and light. One thing I would suggest to Inkee is probably to add a thread on the side of the gimbal to add possibly a microphone, an external microphone, something I've seen in other action camera gimbals like the Crane M2 by Juwin. I noticed the gimbal is quite responsive, which means you need to be very gentle with the gimbal and actually learn how to use it properly, but that comes to all the gear, so I don't find any issue in that. So if you're asking me, would you recommend it for my action camera? Definitely I would. I think it's targeting the vloggers. You can put it in your bag and carry it the whole day and actually operate it the whole day because the battery life is long enough. If you're looking for professional also camera gear, go and check all my playlists. There's a lot of stuff there and also more stuff coming out very soon. I invite you to check my website and also my online courses. You might find it very helpful, as all the other students that joined my courses already. Go and check it at momware.com. I'm gonna thank you for watching. Stay tuned. I will see you in the next video. As always, hit the like button, the subscribe button. See you soon.
Seems all good times come and go, yo.